right. Hi, everyone. This is our first official friendshipismagic.org podcast. With me is Raiser XI,
Yo,
and that
what's
would be
up?
Raiser because I screwed his name up yet again. I'm Pinkie Pie. Raiser XI is one of the mods on the site, one of three. I'm one of the admins, one of two. And what we're doing right now is starting our first podcast. It's a rough draft. It's going to sound a little iffy here and there. It's going to have some cuts here and there. But we're going to just shoot the shit and go right for it. Now,
That's for sure.
first things first, Razor, go ahead and tell people a little bit about yourself.
Well, I'm pretty much the jack of all trades for most things outside of this world. I'm also the main person in charge of the role-playing section, Ponyville Theater, on our forum.
All right,
All
and
right.
we'll actually extend on that a little bit later. Just a little bit about myself. I'm the one of the admins on the server, one of the forums. I mean, and I'm the owner of the Minecraft server. We'll get into that as well. On the forums, which you can reach at www.friendshipismagic.org, spelled just like the show. You can apply there and sign up. It's a really great forum. If you're listening to the podcast and you've never been to the forums before, I encourage you to sign up. We're a lot of friendly people there. We're not a huge forum, so we got a very tight-knit group. We're really friendly, as I said before, and we welcome our new members with open arms. As Razor mentioned before, we have a role-playing forum that he has guided. The role-playing forum, tell him about that and what we participate in there, other than obvious role-playing.
Well, aside from the fact that virtually everything is pony-based, we also have a series of different tag styles. Everything from normal, little bit of side cost on Grimdark, but those aren't not really, yeah, not something we really pick up with. Um, we tend to do one-on-one on the side, usually using the shout box, but we can also do mass, even live role-playing sessions without having to worry about post count. Usually we tend to, well, play as we go, play by ear, if you will. Some of us tend to have more than one character, but yeah. Usually we just go with the flow.
And it's part of what makes I don't know a lot about the role playing on various other pony forums. Or I mean, I've already participated in a few role playing here and there from other forums. But one of the things I've liked about our role playing section on Friendship is Magic is that it incorporates a lot of the canon of the show. Mixed with a lot of the people's original characters or OCs very well. Basically, we've got a lot of the main six, in there that's active. We're missing a few. We're missing Rarity, and Applejack is not as active. But we've got myself as Pinkie Pie. We've got a Twilight Sparkle. We've got Fluttershy, and we've got Rainbow Dash that are very active on the role-playing forums. And of course, we've got a lot of OC characters, such as Riser's character Rybolt, and we've got his other characters. Everything incorporated into like a large storyboard. And one of the things that we're really looking for in new users, if they're interested in role-playing, is just take a look at the various threads on there. Keep an eye out in the way that people role play, and then introduce your character in and just enjoy yourself. It's going to be a lot of fun. Now, besides the role-playing aspect of the forum, obviously we also have discussions. We have off-topic stuff. We range from discussing things from like video games like Minecraft, like I mentioned earlier. We have our own server. The server is run personally by me on my computer and assisted by various other people that I'll introduce in a moment. And also, besides the Minecraft server, we've got various forums on gaming like Xbox 360 and console games like that. We've got PC gaming forums. We've got off-topic forums, and just a variety of discussions for any and every pony out there. So if you really wanted to, get in with the community, by all means, sign up and we will love you for it. Now, what I'm going to do right now, just to mix things up, is I'm going to introduce in one of our users that has been there for a while. It was actually It was actually his idea to bring up the podcast. It wasn't his originally. I'm going to give credit to Schwabity that brought that up first. It didn't get looked at correctly because at the time we just didn't have the focused staff to really center in on it. But I'm going to bring in Psycho right now. And Psycho is one of our users on the account. He's very active. He's also a t-shirt designer. I'll let him plug his site in a minute. And we'll have him talk about his contributions to the site. He'll talk about his t-shirt site and what kind of stuff he does. And we'll just go from there. So, Psycho, if you're nearby, go ahead and pop yourself in and introduce yourself and let us know about you.
Okay, well, I'm Psycho, obviously. I'm known to be the, very apt one on the site, having my character of many personalities. But on topic to the designing, I do a lot of SIG work. I have a very, very specific style, but at the same time, I've done lots of styles. The way that I work with Photoshop is I pretty much just, in a way, I build upon what I have on the layer, and then I build on the next layer, next layer, next layer, but in a specific way that it makes flow very apparent. You can check out some examples on the site. Now, onto the t-shirts. It's this one site called Redbubble. If you yourself are into design, then you can easily sign up and start making shirts yourself. But what I have right now is a MLP strictly based designs. I take requests. I throw out at least maybe 2 or 3 different designs a week, or I try to at least, and just have fun with it. I was originally, I didn't even know that I was going to make money off it in the first place when a friend told me it, but I just said, you know what, here's a few designs, let's have some fun with it. Next thing I know, people are buying my designs, so if you're a designer, I suggest you just go for it, you know? Do whatever your creative instinct tells you to do.
And what would you say is your best-selling shirt right now?
My best-selling shirt is actually the main theme. It's called, I think it's like Main 6 theme or something like that. It's basically... It has, what was it, Big Adventure with Rainbow Dash and Tons of Fun, followed by the rest of it. And that is actually my #1 seller. I think I have over 20 sales on that one design alone.
Wow.
And then my next best seller is Rainbow Dash Not Amused outline, which is like her crossing her arms. It's pretty decent. But my big sellers are the outlines, which is pretty cool. It's like my little signature style, I guess you could say.
Good. Okay. Well,
Yeah.
we're glad to hear that. If you guys are interested about his website, we'll have Psycho post a link on it, and we'll post that with the podcast as well. If you want to go ahead and give a shout out to the link, is it an easy to shout out link, or would you rather just do a link?
I'll just do the link. It's easier that way.
Okay. All right. And if any of you guys are interested in getting some Pony t-shirts, and by all means you should, he's got quality work on there. I myself have one on order. That I had specially made for you. He'll do a special shirt for you on request, and his artwork is top notch. So I can personally vouch for that. I think we got our head mod with us now. Are you there, Penguin?
I'm here.
Awesome. All right, you want to tell everybody about
Great.
yourself and what got you into Friendship is Magic and et cetera, et cetera?
Yeah, well, I'm Penguin. I'm the head mod of the site. Well, what got me interested, I was just browsing Minecraft forums one day. I randomly saw someone with a Fluttershy avatar, and I was just like, what the hell is this? So then I started looking around, and I found the official thread, started watching some videos, and I was just hooked.
Cool. All right. Well, that's a very very good story. I mean, I'll explain how I got myself into it as well. It's actually, I started getting into the season myself just by browsing around on YouTube, and I saw a PMV called Ponies the Anthology. It's a pretty big one out there. I'm sure almost every pony has seen it. And I just saw this video, and I was like, what is this? It didn't make sense to me. I was like, where is this animation from? I caught the idea of how they were syncing it up with a pony animation, but I didn't even know that there was a new generation of My Little Pony out there. As I started to watch it, and I watched the whole 30 minutes of it, I was thinking to myself, this animation style is just amazing. I got to see what the rest of the show's like. So just off that video, I decided to myself that Pinkie Pie was my favorite. And and so I went from there. I picked up an episode. I think the first one I watched was Party of One, because it was centered around Pinkie Pie. I didn't start the series from the beginning. I just picked one random episode and started from there. You can tell how late I got into the show because I started with that one, episode 25, and I watched it. And from then on, I was hooked. I was like, this show is just amazing. I mean, it's very well written. I started delving into the background of it and seeing that, the people that have written it and, contributed to the voice acting and stuff like that. Amazing voice actors or actresses like Tara Strong and Ashley Ball and Tabitha St. German. People like that just really drive this show to be so addictive. And I really couldn't at first figure out what was so compelling about a show that was designed for little girls. But it was only after watching episode after episode that I realized it just grew on you. The acting is great, the artwork is great, and because it's done in flash animation, you can literally pause it at any moment and you don't get a blur. You don't get this type of animation blur that some of the older style animations have. You get a solid picture, and as a result, it becomes an instant internet meme. People can quote it, and it just blew up from there. So I started to understand the fandom, and then by then I was hooked. And I don't think we've heard your story, Razor, about how you got hooked on the show.
Well, I'm a longtime fan of My Little Pony. Having been born in '84, the same year the first series came out, I grew up basically watching My Little Ponies, Transformers, all those shows, everything from G.I. Joe to Thundercats. And for some reason, the original series of My Little Ponies really hit me hard. I tried to get into the second series, Tails, and that one really turned me off. I didn't even bother trying Generations 3 or 3.5. But one day I was just browsing through the hub, not just the hub, my new sorry, drawing a blank. I was searching through the new satellite server we have and came across the hub. I noticed that the very next show that was going to start in 5 minutes was the newest My Little Pony series, which I'd not heard a single thing about. Remembering how I'd liked the first one, I decided to give it a try. At this point, I didn't even know 3 or 3.5 had existed. I sat down, watched the first episode that I came across, which was episode, I'm drawing a blank. I think it's 7, Dragonshy. And Fluttershy just immediately pulled me in. And ever since then, I've been hooked.
Awesome. It's a good story. All right. Well, branching off from that, we'll get into a few questions. I'm going to scroll up on the chat a little bit and find some. Let's see here. What is the main focus of the website? All right. Well, I think that the main focus of the website is the same for pretty much any themed website as far as, anything like gaming forums or anything like that. The focus of the website is to basically bring bronies together. And in case you've never watched My Little Pony, which I don't know why you would listen to this podcast unless you have. Bronies are fans of the show, both male, female. We want to bring bronies together to a community where it's friendly. You can have fun and just basically sit back, post up some forums, threads, do some role play, talk about games, find things you have in common besides My Little Pony, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Some other questions we have. Can someone add Trixie to Skype? Yes, that's a possibility. That's a good question. We can. Next question is season 2 discussion. Actually, that's a good thing we can actually describe later in the show. We'll talk about the season 2.